5 years ago, if you had ignored every individual semiconductor stock, no Intel research, no AMD analysis, no guessing games, and just bought SMH, the semiconductor ETF, you'd be sitting on a 417% return today. No stock picking, no earnings calls, no quarterly anxiety, just one decision, one fund. Now, here's the uncomfortable part. A lot of people knew semiconductors were the future back then. The articles were everywhere, the hype was real, but most people either waited for more certainty or they tried to pick the right individual stock, and that decision cost them a lot of money. We're at a nearly identical moment right now with quantum computing, and today I want to show you exactly how to approach it, which ETFs actually give you real quantum exposure versus ones that just put the word quantum in the name, and which single fund I think is the strongest play in this space right now. Here's what we're going to cover. I'll explain quickly and clearly why quantum computing is genuinely different from past tech hypes. Then I'll walk you through the major quantum ETFs available today, including two that most US investors have never heard of, and break down what separates them in terms of actual quantum exposure, expense ratios, volatility, and return potential. By the end, you'll have a clear framework for deciding which one fits your risk tolerance, and you'll know exactly what to look for so you're not just buying the marketing. No blind conviction here, just the data, the logic, and an honest look at the risks. Here's the problem most people face when they first hear about quantum computing. They either dismiss it as science fiction, something that'll matter in 20 or 30 years, or they go the opposite direction and dump money into a single company because it had a good news cycle. Both of those are mistakes. The dismissal camp is wrong because the timeline is compressing faster than most people realize. The single stock camp is wrong because nobody, not analysts, not insiders, not the companies themselves, knows which specific player will dominate this space. Think back to early AI. People who tried to pick the one winner often swung and missed. People who owned a broad basket, they captured the entire wave. The ETF strategy isn't giving up on conviction. It's understanding that in an emerging technology with this many variables, diversification across the space is the high conviction bet. Before we get into the funds, I want to address something that bothered me when I started digging into this. A lot of funds that call themselves quantum computing ETFs are not primarily quantum computing ETFs. When you open up their top 10 holdings, you'll recognize almost every name: Intel, AMD, Micron, solid companies, but you can already get them in QQQ or VGT. You're essentially paying a premium expense ratio for a fund that's mostly something you already own, with a quantum label slapped on the front. That's worth knowing before you buy anything. The question to ask about any quantum ETF isn't just, does it mention quantum? It's, what percentage of this fund is actually in companies whose core business is quantum computing? That one filter eliminates a lot of the noise. Let me walk you through the landscape, from broadest exposure to most concentrated. QTUM, Defiance Quantum ETF. This is the most well-known name in the space, most liquid, been around since September 2018, nearly 8 years now. Average annual return since inception around 23%, and it just crossed $4 billion in assets under management as of April 2026, which tells you capital is flowing in seriously. Over the trailing 12 months, it's up roughly 73 to 76%, depending on when you measure. It tracks an index that includes not just quantum companies, but also the specialized chips, cooling systems, and hardware required for quantum to function. Currently around 71 total holdings, expense ratio of 0.40%, competitive for a thematic fund. The structure uses a modified equal weight approach, which is smart. It stops giants like Google or IBM from completely overshadowing smaller, higher growth quantum companies like IonQ. But here's the honest caveat. When you look at the actual top holdings, you'll find Intel, Micron, AMD. Great companies, not pure play quantum. If you're already holding a broad tech ETF, a significant portion of QTUM is going to overlap with what you already own. It's a good fund, but it's not the most concentrated quantum bet. WQTM, Wisdom Tree Quantum Computing Fund. This one is different in an important way. Its top 10 holdings, D-Wave, IonQ, Rigetti, account for nearly 45% of the total fund weight. That means when pure-play quantum stocks move, WQTM feels that movement, not filtered through 100 diversified positions, but directly. Year-to-date through April 2026, it's up around 22%. The strategy was co-developed with Classique, a recognized leader in quantum software, which gives the methodology more credibility than a lot of index tracking competitors. And with 47 total holdings, it's more tightly focused than QTUM's broader basket. The one thing that gives me pause, it launched on October 7th, 2025, so we're talking about a fund with less than a year of operating history. I generally prefer more historical data, but the counterpoint is that quantum computing itself hasn't existed in commercial form for much longer. So in some ways, a newer fund that's tracking the current landscape is more relevant than an older one built around different assumptions. If overlap with existing tech holdings matters to you, this one scores very well. It has very little overlap with something like QQM or VGT, which means it's actually adding something new to your portfolio rather than doubling down on what you already hold. This is my current top pick for a focused quantum bet. I'll tell you why again at the end. ARTY, iShares Future AI and Tech ETF. Up about 78% in the trailing 12 months, backed by a Morningstar bronze medal as of March 2026. This one isn't purely quantum, it blends AI and quantum together, and as of now, it's more heavily weighted toward AI infrastructure. But that weighting is actually the argument for it. The AI side, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, IBM, has already proven itself and continues to compound. The quantum side, IonQ, D-Wave, Rigetti, is the moonshot component still developing. So you're essentially running two bets together, one that's already producing returns, one that could accelerate significantly. The expense ratio is 0.47%, and the fund holds around 74 securities. If the idea of going 100% into pre-profit quantum companies makes you uncomfortable, ARTY is a more measured way to get exposure. Less upside on a quantum-specific breakout, but significantly less volatility on the downside. UCITS ETFs, QTM and QNM. Quick note for international viewers, there are two funds available primarily outside the United States, the iShares Quantum Computing UCITS ETF and the VanEck Quantum Computing UCITS ETF that are frankly the most concentrated pure quantum exposure you can find anywhere. Their top holdings are almost entirely IonQ, D-Wave, Rigetti, IBM, and similar names, at much higher percentages than US equivalents. US investors can access these through certain brokers like Interactive Brokers or Saxo Bank, but there are tax complications worth researching carefully before going that route. For European and international investors, these are among the strongest options available. Here's something worth sitting with for a moment. Every single ETF we've talked about has posted strong returns over the past year. Some are up 73 to 76%, some are up nearly 78%. And there's a version of this conversation where that sounds exciting and you start thinking about how much money you could have made. But that's actually the wrong frame. The right question is, at what point in the cycle are we right now? Are these returns evidence that quantum computing is already priced in, or are they evidence that we're in the early innings where capital is just beginning to flow into the space seriously? When you compare where quantum is today to where AI was in 2018 or 2019, before ChatGPT, before mass enterprise adoption, when it was still interesting but not there yet, the structural parallels are strong. The risk is real. Many of these companies are pre-profit, they're still in research phases, timelines could slip, but the direction of the technology is difficult to argue with. The reason most people miss emerging technology waves isn't lack of information, it's the way uncertainty feels. When you look at a fund full of companies you've never heard of, Rigetti, IonQ, D-Wave, that aren't profitable yet, your brain processes that as risk in a very visceral way. Meanwhile, something familiar like Apple or Google feels safer even when the growth math says otherwise. This is why people waited on semiconductors. This is why people waited on early internet stocks. The familiar always feels more comfortable than the frontier.
The ETF structure is actually a psychological tool as much as a financial one. It takes some of the weight off any single holding. You're not betting on Rigetti, you're betting on the entire computing evolution and holding exposure to the 10 or 15 companies most likely to define it. The obvious question, what if quantum computing takes another decade to matter? It's a fair concern. The technology has been 5 years away for a long time. But two things are shifting. First, the investment flowing into this space from governments, from Google, from IBM, from Microsoft is unprecedented. That capital accelerates timelines in ways that organic research doesn't. Second, you don't need quantum computing to be fully commercialized for these stocks to move significantly. You just need continued proof of concept milestones, enterprise pilot programs, and growing institutional conviction. That's already happening. The second objection, should I just wait until there's more certainty? By the time there's certainty, the opportunity is already priced in. That's true in every major technology wave. The return comes from being early and being patient, not from waiting until it's obvious.
Here's how to think about allocation practically. This is not where you put your retirement savings. This is where you put a position, maybe 5 to 10% of a growth-oriented portfolio, where you have a long enough horizon to let it develop. A few specific things to look at before buying any quantum ETF. 1. Check the actual holdings, not the marketing copy. Open the fund's fact sheet and look at the top 10. What percentage is genuinely in quantum-focused companies versus names you already hold in another fund? 2. Understand the expense ratio in context. 0.40 to 0.47% is reasonable for a thematic fund. Don't let a slightly higher ratio scare you away from the better structured fund. 3. Think about overlap. If you already hold QQQ or VGT, check how much of the quantum ETF duplicates those positions. WQTM scores particularly well here, very little redundancy with standard tech holdings. 4. Size the position honestly. The upside potential is real, so is the downside risk. These are pre-profit companies in early-stage technology. Don't size a speculative position like a core holding.